Hi everyone, can you hear me? I can see that there's about 13 or so people, but I'm not seeing any comments pop up on my phone. Ah, got them now. Hi, right, okay, I can see people, yay! Steph Gibson, thank you, you can hear me loud and clear. Yes, from Ontario, Canada, brilliant. Yasmina, hello. Tahini, hello. Okay, so I said that I was going to try and go live about 5 o'clock, so I'll just give a couple more minutes, and then if anybody's just getting the notifications, hopefully they'll come and join us. So tell me where you're all from. I can see Joanne says from Ontario, Canada. Colorado, Mimi. Steph Gibson, you're in the UK. Same here. It still amazes me that we can all sit here and talk to each other from all around the world. Essie, is it? Hi, from Netherlands. Ollie Cheltenham. Hi, Rachel. I watched your card making on Catch Up last night. It was great. Well done. And you're in Vermont. Yeah, brilliant. What weather have you got? Oh, you're welcome. The cards were lovely, Rachel. You do some amazing things. Donna Brown. You're in Tampa, Florida. Okay. You think it's about 20 right now. Well, we've had rain all night. We've had 2 days of sun, although it's been cold. We had rain all last night. It's rained virtually on and off all day today, but it's actually, well, up to about 15 minutes ago, it was sunny. The sun's going down. Mimi, you're going to get snow later. Great. We had snow one day last week. 42. Madness. I think we're lucky if we get to about 5 at the moment. Right, so I can see we've got about 18 or so people on here now, so I'm going to crack on. So on my YouTube channel, on the community tab, a few days ago, I posted 2 projects. This one you can see here, and I posted, not sure how well you're going to see this. This is a new free project that's in ScanNCut Canvas for web, so online. And this was just the PDF I printed off just to see how you arrange the flowers. But on the community wall, I actually posted a picture of the finished project that Brother provided us. And I asked you to vote which project you wanted me to make in the live. And up to about an hour ago, this one was winning. This one was on 60-something%. This one was popular, but only had about 39% of the vote. So what I might do, I'm going to do this one today, or one of these flowers today, which I'll show you in a few minutes when I start cutting it. And I'll probably do this in the next live. So then the people that, you know, really wanted to see this don't miss out. But for today, we're going to make one of these flowers. So let me just first explain. I made this petal shape cutting file in ScanNCut Canvas online, and I made it in 3 sizes, which you'll see in a few minutes, and I've put the cutting file as a free cutting file on my applelover53.co.uk website. I'll catch up with comments in a minute. So for anybody that wants to cut this, if you go over to my website, go to the tab that says free, and then underneath that you'll see cutting files. Go to the cutting file page and scroll down, and this, you'll see a picture of these flowers, and then you just download the ScanNCut cutting file, okay? And these 2 flowers have been cut with exactly the same size petal, but depending on how you put them together, you'll get different results. And let me just show you. I sized my cutting file down. Let me put this on a piece of plain paper so you can see. So that you can get 2 each, because you need a minimum of 6 petals, and you can go as mad as you want. But each one of my flowers is made with 6 petals on each level. So you need 6 of the big ones, 6 of the medium, and 6 of the small. And because I only had A4 paper or card that I wanted to use for this project, I sized my petals down so that I can get 2 lots from a sheet of A4. Now if you're in the US and you use, your A4 is 8.5 by 11, I believe. Ours is 8 1/8 by about 11 3/4. You may just have to group this and just ever so slightly shrink it to get it on your A4. But you can cut these as big as you want. I mean, you could literally cut one of these big petals from a full A4 sheet and then do 6 of them and then size them down. You can cut them from 8 of it. It's entirely up to you. I'm just showing you how I've done it for these flowers, okay? So let me just catch up on Teresa Jackson. You've not missed anything. I've literally just gone live at 5. Hi from Florida, Elaine from Raynham. Anyone else falling out of love with ScanNCut because of the mats? What's wrong with your mat, Aaron? Yeah, Rachel, these make absolute, I've seen some amazing things on Pinterest. I've been making these big flowers for years, and I think I've even probably got an old video on my channel, but you can go as big or as small as you want. I've seen some amazing ones, but as I say, I'm just being a bit of a cheapskate, and I'm using A4 card, and I'm getting 2 of each size from a piece of A4. But, you know, they're very easy to put together. So this is what we're making. And then the leaves, these leaves are in my ScanNCut machine. And I'm sure even if you've not got the same model as me, you'll have some leaves somewhere in your machine. And basically what I've done with these, I've cut 2 and I've glued them together just to make them a little bit more so they're not as floppy. Okay. Now, if you're in the UK and you want to know what card, this was craft card, so you know that's sold. That's in fact, no, telling a lie. This is Stampin' Up. I think it's crumb cake. This is this card from Hobbycraft. It's 50 sheets in a pack. They sell it in all different colour formations. This one's called Soda Pop, and it has 10 sheets of each of those 5 colours. Now it says on it it's 180 grams. It's got a kind of a sheen to it. It's not the thickest card ever. I honestly don't know what pound weight that would relate to for anybody in the US. But if somebody wants to Google and leave a message, then it might give the people in the US a bit of an idea. As I say, it's not the thickest card, but it's not like thin paper, but it cuts beautifully. And, you know, when these go together, they don't feel particularly flimsy. Then for my centres, I have used paper, and I've used the same design that I showed a couple of weeks ago when I was making those 3D Disney frames. And again, I'm going to cut one in blue today, and I'm going to use a dark blue paper for the centre. So, to save a little bit of time, I've cut one set already. In addition to your petals, you're going to need, sorry, I'm all over the place today, aren't I? You're going to need a 3-inch circle, a 2.5-inch circle, and a 1 3/4 inch circle. That's if you're making the flowers with the petal size as I'm showing you. If you make them bigger, then just make your circles bigger, because basically you're going to stick your petals on your circles. Okay, so I'm going to put those two to one side. I'm going to bring in some blue paper. I'm going to get the machine cutting, and then I'm going to look for comments. I'm just going to go into the retrieve data and find the cutting file that I've saved on my machine. I'm not going to move my camera for this because you'll see it in a minute when it's cutting. So I've got the petal shapes on my screen now. I'm going to do a background scan, and then I'll position those and we'll get them cutting. So let me catch up on... Right, Aaron, they just used to, they lose the stick. When you retap them with pin flare, you feel it's too sticky. Okay, right, well, we had this discussion, I think, last week and the week before. Let me just put these on the mat and then I'll come back to that. Give me 1 minute. I just want to get these cutting. Right, I think we're looking okay without me sticking my head under the camera. So I'm going to go for it and cut. Okay, so yeah, the last few weeks we've discussed sticking mats. I've never used pin flare. Somebody on here mentioned it. I have always used the zig. Can you see that? The two-way glue. And I use the one with the jumbo tip, and if you go back and watch the live from, I think it was last week, I showed you how I just apply little bits of this to the mat so that it's enough to hold the card down but not too much that everything gets welded to your mat. So try that, Aaron. If you don't know where to get it from, you can generally get the zig two-way glue on eBay or Amazon, depending on where in the world you are. Someone's saying to me, hello from Spain, having a month in the sun. Can't do with the UK winter. No, it's been dreadful. It's been absolutely awful the last few weeks. Hi, Bev from South Africa. Yeah, this machine is a lot quieter, Rachel, than my previous machine. Yeah, it's great for a temporary stick, that zig. Hi from South Africa to Charmaine. Right, let me unload this mat and I'll get my next one in, and then it's just going to be a case of gluing, bending and assembling. Where is my... I don't know if you've ever heard one of the other ScanNCut models, the CM model, Rachel, but oh my days, it's so loud. This is such a quiet machine compared to my previous ScanNCuts. Do you still use your Cricut, Rachel? I think I've got something on my, just put a mark on my card, but not to worry, I can turn it over because it's double-sided. So let's get this loaded. Oh, you've not seen it in action before. All right, great. Right, let me go back, do a background scan. So another thing I would suggest when assembling these petals is that you need a good strong glue, because the last thing you want is it falling apart when you've got it hung on your wall or anything. I think this looks okay, so we'll set this one off cutting. So I'm using a hot glue gun. You could use a really strong wet glue, something like our Tombow would be brilliant. Or if you use, is it called art glitter glue? That would be good. Any wet glue that's got a really good stick, basically, but I'm using a hot glue gun because it's quicker. Charmaine, you've had a power failure. Oh no, you've not missed me. And all the lives I've been doing the last few weeks have all been recorded and they'll stay up on my channel anyway. So if you do miss it live, you can always go back and watch it. Yeah, I've not used art glitter glue, but I've seen it used, and everybody that uses it always seems to say that it's a good glue. Can you use the new mat with the older machines? No, the DX series of machines, or the SDX, have their own mat. They have the mat with the hangy hole in. The mats that go with the CM models, no matter what model, don't have this hangy hole. So if you see a mat that's got a hole like this, it's specifically for a DX or an SDX machine. So let's unload that. I'm just going to push the machine back out of the way for a minute, and I'll start assembling, and then I need to cut the centerpiece, but I'll do that in a bit. I'm going to turn that one over because it's got a mark on it. So, hope you can see. So I've already done 2 of each, and I've done the circles. So I've got 4 more of the bigger ones, 4 more of the medium, and 4 of the small. Now, you could literally just glue these together as they are, but I like to put a little bit of shape in mine. You could use, you know, a big long pencil or something like that. The way I do this, I don't know if you're going to see this, I roll it on the end of my desk, and that'll start to bend it, and then just kind of manipulate it. As I say, there's all different ways of doing these. You can turn them in, you can turn them away, you can do whatever you want. Okay, so if you're using the art glitter glue, Rachel's saying you only need a tiny little bit, like the Tombow, because it's really sticky. Yeah, the original ScanNCut machine does sound like a motorbike compared to the new one, you're right. Alison, thank you for the live shows, fabulous flowers. You followed the box frame YouTube tutorial. Oh, thank you. And it turned out okay, did it say? Brenda, you're welcome. You could also, where's my bone folder? With the smaller ones as well, you can kind of, you know, bend them like this with a bone folder. But sometimes, especially if you're cutting big ones, it's a bit unwieldy to try and do with a bone folder. I've seen people use like a big paintbrush and roll them around a paintbrush and, you know, that kind of thing. It's just to give them a bit of dimension, really. Right, let me get my hot glue gun. So, for anybody that's not seen these done before, there's a slit in the bottom of the cutting file, and that's where you're going to put your glue and glue them together. Now, depending on how much you overlap them, not sure how well you're going to see this, you get quite a steep curve, or you can literally just overlap them a tiny little bit and glue them, and then it's not as severe, and that will determine how big your finished flower is. So just go back to this one. This one, I pulled these in more and glued them. Trying to get my other one. This one, if you can see the difference in size, on the petals, I only pulled them in a little bit and glued them. But you just need to play about with it, really. I would make one in some old card or paper, first of all, and just get a feel for them. And you'll never get two the same. So I'm going to apply the tiniest amount of glue on. And again, this doesn't matter. I tend to fold as I'm looking at the petal right over left, but it doesn't matter which way you do it. So I'm just going to put the tiniest little, I'll show you in a minute if I can get the glue out. In fact, that's far too much. The tiniest amount of glue, and then just overlap. And as I overlap, I hold it with my nail, or get yourself, you know, some kind of ball tool or something like that, and just hold it down. Only takes a minute and it'll be fine. So I'll do another one because my glue came out a bit too quick. You literally need the tiniest amount of glue. I'm not sure how well you're going to see this. So I've got my Stampin' Up silicone mat here, and I'm just going to hold this down while it grabs, and then I'm going to see if there's any more comments. Oh, thank you, Carmen. So I'm just going to keep working my way along. Literally, you know, hardly any glue. You don't want to be burning your fingers. I think the first time I made these, I put loads of glue on, and every time I held it down to hold it together with my fingers, I ended up with, you know, like hot glue gun burns. And if anybody's had a burn from a hot glue gun, you know it hurts. You basically need the tiniest little amount. Kathy B saying hi everyone. Alison D, perfect time, 5 PM live. Hubby sleeping due to a broken arm. Oh no. Anne is saying hi. Let me just move this in a bit more. It seems to be working a bit cat-candid. So I'm just going to pile up my leaves, move on to my next ones. And again, just because you're going on to a bigger leaf doesn't mean to say you need masses more adhesive. You don't. Just a tiny little bit. Hold it in place. Hello from Illinois. Oh, thank you, Wendy. But these, you know, really are simple to make, but they look so effective when you've made them, and when you put them up on a wall or something. I can't decide whether to put them on the wall in my office or whether to put them in the wall. I have a big, huge cork board in my craft room here that I hang my ScanNCut mats off. And I'm thinking I might put these around one corner of it. And I'm going to put them on with command hooks. Hi, Anne from Canada. Hi, Paul. Yeah, Paul's in France. So I'm going on to the bigger ones now. Just a tiny little dab of glue. Just ever so slightly overlap them while you're holding your glue to dry. You know, give them a bit of a curl. So what's everybody been up to with their Sunday so far? I realise that a lot of you that are over in the States and Canada are probably going to be having a completely different time than I am here today. For me, the day's getting to be nearly over at 5:25, but for you guys, I'm guessing it's probably in the morning or something, is it? I know when people were telling me last week the time difference is somebody was 8:30 in the morning and 11:30, Anne's saying, and you're in Canada, okay? So we've nearly got them all stuck together and it's cold. Sounds like the UK. No, I've not tried embossing them, but that's a good idea. Do you mean running them through an embossing folder or just kind of doing them on a squishy mat? But I can understand where you're coming from. I did that with some leaves when I made that 3D flower a few weeks ago. I ran the leaves through an embossing folder. Right, so let's get the circles. So I'm going to start with the big one. Again, this is entirely up to you how you do it. The more into the circle you put your leaves, the smaller your flower's going to be. I tend to glue mine more or less round the outside. And again, I'm going to use hot glue and I'm just going to apply a little bit of glue and I'm going to stick the leaf probably somewhere between about 1.25 inches in on the circle. And then the way I do mine, I do opposites first. So I'm going to put a little bit more glue. Is everybody seeing this okay? It looks as though I'm watching it on my phone and it looks as though you can see me, but let me catch up on some comments. Elaine's been having a lazy Sunday, but you need to make a birthday card later, okay? Wendy, it's 12:30, but just turn the clocks ahead. Oh, right, okay. We don't turn our clocks ahead for another couple of weeks yet. Oh, that's a good idea, Teresa. Put them on a stalk and stick them in a vase. Yeah, good idea. Oh, that's so funny, Rachel. Your message that says, I'm fussy cutting, has just been flagged up to say this message is held for review. I mean, what do they think fussy cutting is, for goodness sake? Okay, so I've got opposites, so you can see so far, and I've got 4 more. As I say, I'm doing this with a minimum of 6, but I've seen people do them with 8, you know, and cram them in. And obviously, the bigger you go, then you might need even more. You just need to play around. So basically, I'm going to put 2 here and 2 here, okay? Yeah, our clocks change at the end of the month. And I'm overlapping the middle one with the next 2 and just holding down. And then when I stick the next ones on, I put a little bit of glue on that petal as well as that petal and then across the middle, so it all kind of glues together, if that makes sense. And this, again, you don't need a lot. I know. Hand cutting, yeah, that's better. They clearly don't like the word fussy cutting. So, let me just stuck my finger in it. What am I telling you? Not to get burns, and then I go and stick my finger in the hot glue. Okay, so that's round one. But, you know, again, as I say, bend your petals over. You can play about and manipulate it at the end. So I'm just going to put that on one side. I'm going to bring the middle size circle in and do the same. So let me see what, so Charmaine's asking, is that cardstock you're using? Yes. I'll show you what it is, but this is from the UK. It's from a store called Hobbycraft here in the UK, and it says it's 180 grams. It's not the heaviest weight cardstock I've ever used, but it has a kind of, I can't explain it, it has a kind of a pearlescent sheen to it when it's in the light, and that's what attracted me to it. And it's got 10 colours of each of 5 colours, but there was loads of it. There was like a bright section that had all, you know, deep colours. There was a subtles kind of with all pale colours. This one's called Soda Pop, and it was just the colours that attracted me to it. But I know a lot of the people that use a Cricut machine make these flowers, and they either use card, or I think Cricut does, Rachel will know if she's had a machine, I think Cricut does a pearlescent type paper, 12 by 12, and I've seen quite a lot of these flowers done in that. So you can make them in anything really, you know, it's just give it a go and see. You'll get to know what works for you. So again, I'm just doing opposites. Alison said, someone asked what I call my scan and cut. His name is my big bro. So Rachel's saying she's only ever used cardstock. Yeah, I remember seeing somebody one time, if it was on Pinterest or it might have even been on YouTube, I can't remember. But Cricut did, I don't know if they still do it, they probably do, some 12 by 12, and it was like a pearlescent paper, and I've seen them made out of those and they're beautiful. Where's my little thing to hold this down so I don't keep burning my fingers? Charmaine saying thank you, I wondered because of the length of the paper. So long as your paper can fit on a scan and cut mat, either a 12 by 12 or a 12 by 24, you can make these, because you just literally, I mean, as I said at the beginning, I'm using A4 card, and I just wanted to cut two leaves of each of the 3 sizes from A4, and that's why mine are cut this size, but you could literally cut each leaf from 12 by 12. So, you know, you're not restricted at all. Just have a play and go for it. So it's still available, is it, Rachel? The paper, is that what you're saying? The Cricut paper's still available? Okay, so somebody's saying, Wendy, thank you. I used a paperweight calculator, and 180 grams represents 67 pounds. Okay, so Rachel, you can probably tell me what would you use something that's 67 pounds for in crafting? You wouldn't make a card with it, would you? You wouldn't make a card base with it. It's probably a bit too lightweight. But I think it's perfect for these. Okay, so this is round 2, and basically this is going to stick in here. And again, you can put it on dimensionals so it pops up a bit. It's entirely up to you. So we're on to the last one with the 1 3/4 inch circle. I'm going to turn that one over because it's got writing in the middle, and then I can hide it within there. So I'm just putting all these petals onto my circles at kind of a similar distance, so near to the end rather than near to the middle of the circle. Okay, so general cardstock that you can get from Michael's or Hobby Lobby. Rachel's saying will be fine, but not heavyweight. Okay. Yeah, you don't want to make these out of anything that's that stiff that, you know, you can't get any shape or bend on them. But these seem to be, as I say, you know, quite sturdy. The ones I've made so far. Oh, a little bit more glue there. Spread that glue around. Right, I'm looking at comments again. What are people saying? Yes, it's £65. Okay, well, there you go then. So if you're in the US, the equivalent is something that's about £65 in weight. That's what I'm using. It was just the colour, to be fair, that attracted me to it. Obviously, because I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator, I use a lot of Stampin' Up card and paper, but I happened to be somewhere the other day and there was a hobby craft, and I went in and this is what I came out with. Okay, is anybody saying anything to me? Can't see any more comments at the moment. The only thing with hot glue is you get all those gluey strings, don't you, that you have to go back and pull off when they're all cold. Right, so I'm just going to leave those to dry for a few minutes. I'm going to put my glue gun on one side. Right, excuse the rustling noise. I'm just going to put the cover back on my standard mat because I'm going to use my low tack mat for the paper. Now this is paper. I've no idea what weight this is, but I would say it's kind of like copy weight type paper. It's just navy blue. So I'm guessing this is probably going to be 80 or 90 grams. And I'm going to cut one of the flowers that I've cut in previous weeks. So I'm just going to bring my machine back in. Now, the machine's gone to sleep, so let's wake it up. Let me just find this pattern on here. So, patterns, and I can never remember where it is. Oh, there it is. It's in the page with the box on. So I'm going to use the same daisy flower that I've used here, and I've used it in the Disney frame recently, and I'm going to make it 8.5 inches. So that's all I'm doing on the machine at the moment. If you've not got this design, while this is cutting, just let me get this cutting. I need to do a background scan. If you've not got one of these paper flowers in your ScanNCut machine, you can get yourself a piece of paper or card. I would probably try it with paper first. And I'm just going to have to change the background of the mat so I can see my design. Let me just get this cut in and then I can come back. Okay, so get yourself a piece of paper. This is about 1.5 inches wide. Get yourself some scissors. If you've got those fringing scissors, even better. If not, just cut about inch slits in your paper like this. And it doesn't have to be perfect and they don't have to be even, because, you know, at the end of the day, you're going to roll it up and stick it in the middle of a piece of paper flower. I'll just leave yourself about 1/2 inch here. And then just do the same thing, just roll your flower like so. Go all the way along and then fringe this out and put that in the middle of your flower. So if you've got a machine that's not got this paper flower in it, that's an alternative. I'm just going to plug my phone in because I honestly don't know if I'm okay on battery. And I don't want to lose you. So just do something like that with a piece of paper, yeah? Right, let me try and catch up and see if there's any comments. I think I'm caught up on comments. I'm just gonna have a drink of my juice. Get such a dry throat when I'm sat here talking to you all. Okay, that's finished. Just going to move this out of the way. Take this waste off. What's somebody saying? What are you planning next week? Right, okay, so did you, Alison, did you see the poll I put on my YouTube community wall where I showed you two projects and said, vote for which one you want me to make? Let me move that out of the way. So I'm waiting for Alison to reply. Teresa's saying to me, with your SDX ScanNCut, do you register it or do you carry on with your account of your previous CM machine? Okay, if you mean in Canvas online, basically all as I did, I just went into my account as normal and started creating files. The only time you have to specify anything is if you're using any of those activation cards that I've been showing you how to use over the last few weeks. And when you go and activate those, it will ask you to assign which machine you want to activate it to, but your account online is just the same. Alison, no, you didn't see it right. Okay, well, basically, a couple of days ago on the community wall of my YouTube channel, I posted a poll and I posted 2 pictures and I said, which one do you want me to make in the live? And I asked people to vote. And this that I'm doing today, the 3D flower, up to about an hour before I came on live, had 60-something% of the vote. So that's why I went with this. But let me find my piece of paper. I don't know what I've done with my piece of paper with the project on. But basically what I'm going to do, the other project was a free project that's been put in Canvas this week. I'll make that because a lot of people said they liked it, but this particular flower got the vote. So I had to go with the vote. Here it is. It's a tri-fold card with flowers. So I'll make this in the next live. Okay, so I'm going to start rolling this flower. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a bend to start it going. Right, where are we up to with comments? I'm trying to read and roll at the same time, so Aaron's saying he might look into getting the SDX as it looks so much easier than the CM900. It is, to be fair. I mean, you know, if any of you have followed me for a long time, you'll know that I've had ScanNCut machines about 6 years. And I had the CM600 and then I went to the 900. And I only went to the 900 for the Wi-Fi capability because I craft in this room, but my office is in the room next door and that's where my computer is and that's where I work and that's where I design in Canvas. So I went for the Wi-Fi because it was easier for me to send files over. And then, you know, when the DX machine came out, I thought, Auto Blade, don't need that. And then the people at Makers Superstore contacted me and reached out to me and asked me would I like to help launch the SDX. So I'm rolling up, I'm just going to give it a squeeze and I'm going to let it go. Okay, and let it kind of find its own way, and then I'm just going to roll it back up again and glue it all together. So let me just bring my glue gun in and then I'll carry on with my... So these roll flowers have a circle on the bottom. So I'm just going to put a big wodge of glue on there and then I'm going to stick all this without burning my fingers. And then again, you know, just manipulate. They don't have to be perfect. I mean, flowers are not perfect, are they? That looks a bit, that could have been a bit better rolled actually, but once I get it in there, it'll be fine. So let me just go back to my tail. So yeah, so basically the Makers Superstore people reached out to me last year and said that they'd got this new machine and they had the UK exclusivity on it and they were going to be launching it at the NEC in Birmingham, and would I like to join them? So I went and spent 2 of the 3 days they were there, or the 4 days, and once I saw how quiet this machine was and I saw the Auto Blade, it literally just sold it to me. And you know, you've just watched me, I've just cut card and then I've gone to paper and not changed any blade, not touched a blade or anything. It's just so easy to use. So, you know, that was it. I was sold. So I'm going to put some glue on here now and I'm going to stick that in. I'm going to put some glue in the middle of this one and hold that one down. Alison, you found it. So you found the 2 projects I posted. The trifold card looks lovely, I must admit. And to be fair, I wanted to have a go at it, but this one got the votes. So there's no point in me asking people to vote and then not doing what they want. So hence I'm doing this project. So this is going to stick in there now, like that. So I'm going to put a big blob of glue and just hold it down. So I'll do the other project in the next live. So it's the, I think it's called Trifold something or other card. I've not made it and I won't make it. I'll just cut, you know, the bits of card that I need to cut the flowers, and then I'll just cut it all in a live and we can see how it all goes together. So let me move. So what do you think? There's the blue one. Here's my pink one, and you can see, even though these are both cut at exactly the same size, this one's more spread out than this, and that's, I've got glue all over me, and that's purely and simply the way you glue the leaves together. Let me just pick my other one up off the floor. And bring my leaves in. And I'll stick some leaves in. What do you think? Can you see? I think they look great. Thank you, Rachel. Thanks, Joyce. I think they're fab, I really do. And I think up on a wall, you know, around the corner of my big cork board here in my craft room, I think they'll look lovely. But I've seen them over people's windows in their craft room. You know, people make masses of them, make them huge, make them small. You know, you could go smaller, you can go bigger. Once you've got the basic pattern, I made this pattern for this petal in canvas. And this petal, I've got a hole in my sleeve. This petal started off as a, is it called a pentagon? 1, 2, 3, 4, a 5-sided shape, which is in canvas. And I changed the 2 straight lines to curved lines. And then I brought the bottom lines in and I added a cut line. So that's my cutting file that I made from a pentagon shape. And as I say, it is free on my Apple Lover 53 website. Just go to applelover.co.uk, click on the free tab, click on the cutting file, and then scroll down and you'll see a picture of, I think it's these two I put in the picture. I either put the pink one in or both of them, I can't remember. And then when you click on it, it will give you a link to the FCM ScanNCut cutting file in Dropbox. Just download it and then you can size it and cut it and do what you want with it. Paul, I'm going to put them on the wall with command hooks. Is it called command strips? You know, those sticky things that stick together and then you can pull them and peel them off the wall. That's how I'm going to stick it on the wall, with command strips. Not the actual hooks, just the glue bit. I'm going to put them on the back and glue them onto the wall with those. I don't think that blue tacky stuff, do you mean like blue tack? I don't think that would be strong enough. You could try it. That leaves a kind of greasy residue on your wall though, doesn't it? Those sticky command strips, they don't, because when they're kind of bent at one end, or you can peel them off and they don't leave marks on your wall. You've seen it mounted inside a big ornate picture. Yeah, there's loads of uses. They've been around for years, haven't they? Like I say, I've made them in the past. And I think I've even got a video on my YouTube channel somewhere going back years, and made them in all different sizes. And if you make them small, you can use them on cards, or those box frames that you get at IKEA are all popular at the moment, and people are making them and filling a box frame up with them. There's all sorts of uses. You could try blue tack, but to be fair, I'm not so sure it would hold them. Yeah, the command strips. What you can also do, you could cut, say, a rectangle with a hole in and glue the rectangle on the back, you know, like a tag, and have your hole here, and then you could put string in them and hang them up, you know, off a string. But I'm just going to put the actual command strips on the back. And I've got this one as well. This one's a total flower. So I'm thinking I might put this one in the mix somewhere as well. This one's made from a dingbat font. This isn't in pieces, this is one flower layered up 3 times, and then this bit is the middle bit of a flower that's in the ScanNCut machine. So I'm thinking I might, you know, throw that into the mix somewhere. I'm not sure yet. You've got some of those strips. Yeah, I think most people have them in the houses, don't they? Or, I mean, I know in the UK they sell them in the supermarkets and things like that. Pretty behind a bed, yeah, they'd look amazing. And cut some big leaves. I mean, these leaves are not very big. I think these are about 8 inches. But cut some big leaves and, you know, have a couple of big leaves hanging out. That'd look good too. Little lights, yeah, that's another good idea. Yeah, the bottle tag that Paul made in the January design team. Yeah, you only need a small hole, but yeah, you could use the bottle tags. Just stick a bottle tag on, decide which way up you want your flower. Stick your bottle tag on the back so it's got a hole in it, and then the hole's big enough that you could hang that onto something, or put some string on it and hang them up, you know, that way. There's all sorts of ways you can do it. You just have to kind of get inventive, don't you? I'm just going to get a bit more of my drink. What are people saying? Be fabulous as a centrepiece. Yeah, definitely. Love the light idea. Yeah, me too. Charmaine, you prefer them without the small flower in the middle. Yeah, you don't have to put this in. You could literally cut some more leaves, some more petals, and, you know, go smaller and smaller. Or you could cut these smallest ones and bend them in so they fold over. I've done that in the past. But this little flower I've been using quite a bit recently as it's in the machine, so that's why I'm using it today. But yeah, there's all sorts of things you can do. Poinsettias, yeah, just make, this would make a good poinsettia, yeah. Do you still use your Cricut, Rachel? Or a paper clip? Someone, I think, oh, a paper clip. Do you mean to hang them up with? Yeah, anything. Trying to catch up with comments, sorry. Could you just put finishing wire in them and stick the first and yes, you could. You could put wire in them. I've seen that done before. Just get a piece of wire, bend over the end, put them through, and that'll hold them all together if you don't want to use glue. I'm just lazy and the hot glue gun was handy, so. Add foil into the edges, yeah. Another thing I was thinking was get an ink pad. I mean, for stamping up something like Seaside Spray, is it called, Rachel, or Balmy Blue, if you just brush that over the edges. This would be probably Petal Pink, something like that. This is Stampin' Up card, and I think I use Crumb Cake. You could just, you know, rub an ink pad or a sponge with some ink on round the edges. That looks nice as well. But I'm just kind of doing them clean cut. You only have a Cameo now. You could do these on a Cameo. Oh, a picture in the middle, that's a good idea. What a good idea that is. Yeah, that would make them really personal, wouldn't it? Or you could put pictures of your children in the middle and hang them on your wall and have your children or your family or your husband or your wife or whatever in the middle. That's a really good idea. Soft suede on Crumb Cake. Yeah, I'm sure this is... Oh, I'm getting myself confused now, you know. It's either soft suede or Crumb Cake. I can't remember. It's definitely Stampin' Up card. I know that much. I just can't remember what colour I used. Yeah, string of fibre optic lights. Or you could even pierce a small hole right through and then put those little LED bulbs, you know, that are on a string. push one of those through, you know, the battery operated ones that you get like on a string from IKEA. You could pierce a hole right through and stuff the bulb through and string them all together. Oh, we're coming up with some great ideas now, aren't we? Elaine, what do you mean you're confused with Stampin' Up cards? You mean the colours? I know they all look similar. Is that what you mean? Rachel, your head's spinning now. Go for it, girl. Make something. Show me what you've made. Alison D, they are lovely and thank you for your time. Oh, you're welcome. We all need help now and again. Community thoughts too from all over the world. Yeah, definitely. We do all need help, and it's lovely that we can all sit and chat, and we've got a common bond, haven't we, in crafting, which I think is lovely. Table centres to cover tea lights, yeah. For weddings, what about weddings? Do them in the colour theme of a wedding, and like you say, use those little tea lights. Pierce a big hole through, stand them over one of those, and have those on your table at night as a centrepiece. Right, Rachel, come on, give it a go. I want you to give it a go, and I want you to post and show us. There's a challenge for you. Hi, is it pronounced Ms. Ronnie? I feel awful that I probably get your name wrong every single week. And from Michigan, just coming in, sorry you're late. Oh, it doesn't matter, don't worry about it. Hopefully it will be recorded and it will be on my YouTube channel for you to watch later. And the free cutting file for the petal is on my website if you want to go and get it. Carmen, you're more than welcome. It's fun. I've really been enjoying doing these live the last few weeks. Teresa, I agree. I think Stampin' Up should do some shiny cut. Well, they do, don't they? They do the, was it the Noble Peacock that was in the lovely blue and green? But I think a nice shiny paper, a kind of heavyweight paper, shiny, would be perfect. What's Alison saying? On string, on front of stand when selling, that would draw the attention, definitely. Yeah, on the front of your craft stand or something like that, most definitely. Aaron, how did you start YouTube? Do you mean how did I start my YouTube channel? Well, basically, I've always had an electronic cutter. I had a Craft Robo years ago. Then I went to a Puzzles Inspiration because that would cut 12 by 12 and my Craft Robo didn't. And then I was watching Create and Craft one day in the UK and I saw the ScanNCut, and as soon as I saw that it had the scanner in it, I just thought that was genius, because I know that, you know, when you get your mat and you put a piece of card on it and you're counting along on your screen to see if your designs where you've put your piece of card is a pain. So it was the scanner that sold it to me. And I don't like Facebook. I have it for, I have a team page and I'm part of a Stampin' Up team, so I use it for that. But because the ScanNCut was new to the UK, I was looking to see if there was a ScanNCut group, and I came across a group which I joined at the time, and there was a lady in the group that wanted to know how to do something, and I knew how to do it, and trying to explain was really long-winded. So the lady messaged me, and we were trying to, she's in America, and I was trying to explain and she was trying to tell me what she was trying to do, and it was all getting a bit complicated. So I literally filmed a video, first ever video I'd ever done in my life, and went to YouTube. And at the time I'd just got a Mac computer, and you know, when you start a YouTube channel you need a name, and I didn't have a name. And because I loved my Apple Mac, that's where Apple Lover came from, and the 53. And I uploaded this particular video for this lady, but I just uploaded it. I didn't know anything about YouTube at the time. I didn't understand about private or public or whatever. I literally just uploaded the video, and I sent her a message to say I'd uploaded it and didn't think anything more about it. And then I don't know, either she messaged me or I went and had a look a week or two after, and it had something like, I don't know, 100 views or something. And people were leaving comments saying, oh, really, this has really helped me. I'm new to the ScanNCut. And then I realised that people were struggling because it was a new machine in the UK, and that's how my channel was born. So yeah, it's true though. That is the true story. That is how my YouTube channel started. And it's amazing to think that I've actually now got nearly 32,000 subscribers, which is, I don't know, it's mind-blowing, it really is. And I'm getting new people all the time. But something I have found out, YouTube are getting really good with their analytics and information at the moment. And I'm getting messages on my analytics saying that over 50% of the people that watch my channel are not even subscribed. And I just don't understand why. Why do people not subscribe? I mean, I subscribe to YouTube channels. Do they, I don't know, do people think that they're going to get bombarded with spam or something? I really don't know. I mean, as I say, I have 32,000 subscribers nearly, which is phenomenal. But my YouTube analytics are telling me that 50% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed. So anyway, that's, you know, for another discussion, I suppose. Right, let me catch up on comments. Yes, I'm pronouncing it right. Oh, thank you. Right, so at least I know you're Ms. Ronnie. And you'll look at the full video later after the live. Yeah, don't worry, as I say, once I end this, it takes a bit to process, but then it'll be up on my channel for anybody to watch at any time they want. Aaron, you're saying you've subbed. Oh, thank you. I've got hot glue strands all stuck to my fingers, so I don't know if you're seeing them. What Charmaine's saying, I'm so happy you started. You are my favourite YouTube person. Oh, thank you. Yeah, as I say, it was just because somebody needed help on something and I knew how to do it. And that's how it started. Okay, so has anybody got any questions or any other comments or anything they want to share? Once I get this stuck up on the wall, I'll take a picture of it and I'll probably post it on my Instagram page or something like that. So the next live, I'm not sure when it's going to be. Next Sunday, I'm actually busy. So I may try and do it one day in the week if I've got time, or I may try and do it next Saturday night, which will be, I don't know what next Saturday night is, but what are we on, the 8th today? So probably the 15th, because Sunday I'm busy. But I think we'll try the trifold card with all the flowers, if that's okay with everybody. And as I say, this is a new free project that's been put in Canvas in the last week. So you can all go and download this from Canvas online. And, you know, watch me put it together if you want. You're welcome, Rachel. Glad you caught me too. Can I confirm? Yes, it's this. I'll show you. Hang on. I'll try and hold it near the camera. Can you see? It's, hang on, let me tell you. I always forget who it's made by. Right, it's made by Kuritake. Don't know how well you're going to see that. It's, let me get it the right way around. Is it the right way around for you? Or is it backwards? It's Zig, Z-I-G, two-way glue. And you need the one with the jumbo tip. And when you get it, this is white. And basically what you do, you pump it to get the blue glue to come down to activate it. When this glue goes on wet, if you stick it together, it's permanent. So when you're doing your mats, you put it on your mat, only a tiny little bit, and you leave it to dry. And only when it's completely dry do you put your protective cover back on your mat, okay? And if you go back and look at last week's live YouTube video, I did a very brief demonstration of how I do my mats. I do not cover the whole mat. I just do it in sections. So I get the tip, make sure it's wet, and I do like an inch section, and then do another inch section and another inch section. And then in between where those sections are, I do say one there and one there, and then I do another one there. And I just do each 6-inch square of my mat like that. You don't need a lot of glue. You have to make sure whatever you do, you don't use a lot. I don't tend to repump it a lot. I just use what's on the nib and go along, and make sure it's completely dry before you put your plastic protective cover back on it. Let me catch up with the comments. So is that okay, Aaron? Oh, thank you, Miss Ronnie, for subscribing. That's lovely. Elaine, I'm busy next Sunday. Got a Stampin' Up get-together. Okay, fab. Well, as I say, I'm busy next Sunday as well. So it's probably going to be, if I've got a free day in the week, I'll do it. And obviously, if nobody's around to watch it, it'll be recorded. Or I will try and do it next Saturday night, if I can. And then we'll make the canvas project. Aaron, you're welcome. Joyce, when I first started using the zig, I used to use it all over, but I found it was too sticky. So now I have, this is my, SDX mat. And I literally have just done what I showed you, literally about an inch strip, about 3 in that section, then 2 in the middle, then another 3, and then just do the same in each of the 4, sections of your mat, and that's all you need. Just make sure it's activated, pump it first to get the glue in the nib, and don't press down on the card, just, glide across very lightly. You can always add more, but it's, a bit of a problem if you've put too much on. Okay, so how are we going? So has anybody else got any more questions? I'm just going to have a sip of my juice. And if you are in the US, Rachel, who is iStamp2, is a Stampin' Up demonstrator. So if you need a demonstrator, reach out to her. And she also has a YouTube channel, I think. And she makes some great cards. So, go and watch her. Go and subscribe to her as well. Okay. So I can still see we've still got about 31 people on here. Alison, I don't know whether it will be a weekly live. I don't want to commit to saying yes it will be and then let people down. So basically what I've been saying is if I can come on and do a live, I will do. I'm mindful that, in the next month, probably from about a month on from now, I might be starting to get a bit busier with my daughter because she's a very good young amateur golfer and I travel all over the country with her. So I don't want to say, yes, I'm going to be live every Thursday or I'm going to be live every Sunday and then I'll let people down. So if I can, I will. But as I say, I don't want to say, yes, it will be. And then people are, taking time out to tune in and I'm not here. Right, what's Rachel saying? Rachel's more active on Facebook. Okay, same name. Okay, yeah. Well, I knew it was that on Facebook, but I didn't know whether, I thought you had a YouTube as well. So yeah, so Rachel is a Stampin' Up demonstrator in Vermont, did we say? But, you know, if you're in the US and you want a lovely Stampin' Up teacher, reach out to her because she does make some lovely cards. Okay, any more questions? Alison, my sister-in-law worked at administration in Woodhall Spa. Yeah, we were there actually last year. Hannah played in a competition there. It was a champions final of finals. Well, Rachel, you're welcome. But yeah, she's only 17, but she's a 2 handicapper. She had an amazing season last year. And, you know, she's working hard, or been working hard over winter. In fact, she's in Portugal as we speak, training. Can't be bad, can it? Winter training. Her and her boyfriend, he's a scratch golfer. They've both taken themselves off to Portugal for a week and they're out in the sun playing golf and training. But yeah, she's amazing. So I spend an awful lot of my time walking around golf courses watching her, and if she plays in ladies events, I'm allowed to caddy for her. So in the ladies events I can caddy for her, so I caddy for her sometimes, but in like girls comps, so under 18s, they're not allowed caddies, and I basically just walk around and watch. And I love it. She's brilliant. She's far better than I ever was when I played golf. But yeah, she's great. I mean, the things she won last year are amazing. I could reel them all off, but I won't bore you. But yeah, she's fab. Elaine, you're welcome. Am I ever coming to the US? Don't know, unless it's to watch Hannah golf. I'm hoping that at some point in her future, she starts making some money at golf, and she can keep me in the life I've kept her in. But she's also got a job now. She's been taken on as part of a pro shop team at one of the golf courses about half an hour away. So she's doing 3 full days a week there to help subsidise her training and everything, because it costs an absolute fortune to go to all these comps. We're off to Scotland in about a month for a week. So, you know, we obviously have to pay to enter those. We have to pay for accommodation, and we don't get any, you know, financial help. She has no sponsorship or anything like that. So yeah, it will be her turn, hopefully, in maybe 5 or 10 years, if I'm still around. Okay, so I can see that the numbers are dropping now. So if nobody's got any questions that they want to ask, I think we'll wind this up. I'll take a photograph of these, and I'll make sure that the video hopefully renders up onto YouTube okay. Thanks, Alison. And I'll say goodbye. So I'll hang around for a couple more minutes and see if there's any final questions. But then I'll end the stream and leave you all to the rest of your Sunday, or Sunday night if you're in the UK like me. I think I'll go and sit down and get myself a drink and a bite to eat. Alison, you're welcome, and good night. Ms. Ronnie, you're welcome. Have a lovely week yourself. Rachel, thank you. Glad you were able to be here. Elaine, bye. Okay, so the comments seem to be stopping now, so I'm going to say goodbye and I'm going to end the stream, and I'll talk to you all soon. Have a lovely week. Take care, everybody. And hopefully I'll be around to talk to you again soon. Bye for now.